Hey guys, and welcome to another video. What I'm going to talk to you all about today is your relationship with the scales. Scale weight as a metric and why you shouldn't fear it. Give this video a like, press the big red button, and let's begin. The scale is an important and useful tool for reaching or maintaining weight loss for many people. But for others, it can stand in the way of success. I see all the time on Instagram, people's weighing days coming around and they're being fearful of it. They're absolutely hating that experience and it shouldn't be happening. Slimming clubs demonise the scales. They cause fear and anxiety around being weighed. This leads to stepping on the scales being a negative experience for many people, when really stepping on the scales should be a positive. When you step on the scales, there may be a slight increase in your numbers, even though you've been good all week and been following your routine. Or maybe the scale shows no progress, even though you've been doing twice as much work as you normally would do. That single moment you step on the scales, you decide things about yourself, whether you're fat, thin, a success or a failure. Perhaps even how you feel about yourself as a person. And you get this perceived perception of yourself straight away. And body image is something that many of us struggle with to this day. Even me stood here now. I used to have weight issues. I used to be very thin and I wanted to gain weight. I wanted to look better in my clothes, in the way I looked. I used to dislike stepping on the scales to see if I'd gain weight, because depending on what that number said, depending on how my self-esteem got knocked, if the number had gone down or it stayed the same, there you go. I was not happy about it. I wanted the number to go up, the same as most of you guys probably want the number to come down. Now the biggest issue with scale weight is the fact that it doesn't take into consideration your body composition. There's no consideration for lean mass loss or gained, or fat mass loss or gained. For example, you can stay the exact same weight you are right now, but you could have gained muscle and lost fat. It doesn't know whether you have or not. And this is why the metric, or using scales as one single metric, is wrong. Yes, everyone's going to say, well, muscle weighs more than fat. It doesn't. Sorry, mate. 1 pound of fat is the same as 1 pound of muscle. They both weigh the same, that's why there's 1 pound of it. What you are missing though, is that 1 pound of muscle may weigh the same as 1 pound of fat, but when you look at it on the body, it takes up less room. So this is why your scale weight has stayed the same, but your measurements of your body have come down. Using those two metrics would be a lot better than using the one, which is scale weight. Back to what I was saying. Body composition is much more important than what the scales say. For argument's sake, let's say you have maintained your weight. You've not lost any weight as what the scales say, but you've lost 2 inches off your waist. Is that a win? I'll let you decide. Our body weight fluctuates all the time, dependent on water retention, food you're currently eating, if you have exercised that day. If you're a lady, what part of your menstrual cycle are you in? Which phase are you in? Another thing is you've recently defecated. Yes, bowel movements can weigh up to 1 pound, maybe even more for some people. Yeah, talking about poo, lovely. So next time you step on that scales and you haven't won Slimmer of the Week, remember, that number doesn't truly represent what's actually going on. So today's recommendation is go away, weigh yourself, yeah, but take some measurements. Your waist, your hips, your arm, maybe your chest. And then next time when you get weighed, take the measurements again and see if there's any alteration in the measurements. Maybe your weight stayed the same, but maybe you've lost a few centimeters somewhere. Quite possible. As a personal trainer, I look at all metrics to make a decision. I look at weight, height, sex, age. I look at measurements. I look at BMI. I look at all these just so I get a full understanding of everything, because one metric doesn't mean a thing. All of them together gives you a much better picture, or a much bigger picture at least. If I just use one metric, say BMI, my advice to you would be very poor. Again, BMI doesn't look at body composition. It's a very outdated system. So why would I use it? Yes, I use it with everything else because that does give me a picture. where using it on its own is pretty rubbish. So when you're recognising your achievements, look at everything. Don't just look at one thing, otherwise you will be blinded by it. Hopefully I've reduced a little bit of fear around the scales. Hopefully some of you will find this very useful. Drop a comment below if you have any questions. See you there. Until next time, farewell.